Welcome back. Let me say something that most financial creators won't say out loud. Saving $100,000 in 3 months is possible. And for most people watching this, it's also completely insane to attempt. Both of those things are true at the same time. And the difference between which category you fall into has nothing to do with how motivated you are, how many productivity hacks you've downloaded, or how many cold showers you've taken this month. It has everything to do with your current financial architecture, what you earn, what you own, and what skills you can monetize right now. So today, we're not going to pretend. We're not going to tell you to cut your coffee and believe in yourself. We're going to look at this honestly. Who can actually do this, how they do it, and why everyone else chasing this goal in the wrong way ends up worse off than when they started. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly which category you're in. And that information is worth more than any $100,000 strategy I could give you. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Now, let's dive into the content. Let's start with the cold, uncomfortable math. $100,000 in 90 days means generating roughly $1,111 per day. Every single day, including weekends, including the days you're sick, including holidays. Now say that number out loud, $1,111 per day. For most people, that's their weekly salary. Some people, that's closer to their monthly income. So right away, we can rule out one entire category of strategy, saving your way there. If you earn $60,000 a year, which is around the median household income, your take-home after tax is maybe $48,000. You cannot save $100,000 in 3 months on that income. Even if you spent absolutely nothing, slept in your car, ate rice every day. The math simply does not work. Saving is not the path here. Saving is too slow. So what is the path? There are exactly 3 ways to accumulate $100,000 in 90 days. You either earn it, grow it, or sell it. And each of those comes with a completely different risk profile, a different required starting point, and a very different probability of success. Let's go through each one. The first path is earning your way there through high-value skills and services. This is the most legitimate path. It's also the hardest because it requires something most people massively underestimate. A skill that the market will pay at a premium right now on demand. What does that look like in practice? Think about a freelance software engineer who charges $200 an hour. At 40 hours a week over 12 weeks, that's $96,000 gross. Close, but only if they're fully booked, only if they have the clients, and only if they have no gaps. Think about a sales professional who works on commission, a high-ticket closer selling $20,000 programs, taking 10% per sale. They need 50 sales in 90 days. That's possible, but only for someone who already has the pipeline, the scripts, and the track record. Think about a consultant, a specialist, a creative director, someone who can walk into a company and solve a problem worth far more than $100,000 to that company and charge accordingly. The pattern here is specific. High-value skill, direct client relationship, no ceiling on output. What doesn't work is thinking you can suddenly develop this skill in the same 3 months you're trying to hit the target. That's not a 90-day project. The 90-day sprint only works if the foundation was built over the previous 2, 5, 10 years. If your income right now is average, the honest answer is, the earning path to $100,000 in 3 months is not currently available to you. And that's okay. But we need to say it clearly because most people skip this step and jump straight to the riskiest path instead. The second path is growing existing capital through investment. And this is where we need to be extremely honest because this is where the most damage happens. To turn existing money into $100,000 in 3 months through investment returns, let's think about what that actually requires. If you start with $50,000 and want to double it in 90 days, you need a 100% return in 1 quarter. The S&P 500 averages roughly 10% per year, so you'd need to outperform the entire stock market by about 40 times in 3 months. The only instruments that can theoretically produce those returns in that time frame are options, leveraged positions, cryptocurrency, or other high volatility assets. And yes, people have done it. People have turned $50,000 into $100,000 in 3 months through options trading or a well-timed crypto position. But here's what those stories leave out. For every person who doubled their money in 90 days through aggressive trading, there are many more who lost 50%, 70%, 90% of what they started with. The ones who won share their story. The ones who lost go quiet. This is called survivorship bias, and it's one of the most dangerous cognitive traps in personal finance. So, is the investing path completely off the table? Not entirely. If you already have significant capital, say $80,000 or more, and you're willing to accept real risk, and you have genuine knowledge of the instruments you're trading, and you have a clear exit strategy, and you can emotionally afford to lose a substantial portion of it, then aggressive investing is a path you can consider with open eyes. But I want to turn my $5,000 savings into $100,000 in 3 months through crypto is not investing. That's gambling with extra steps, and the house almost always wins. The third path is selling something: assets, products, or a business. This one gets overlooked because it requires owning something worth selling, but it's actually the cleanest path if you have it. Selling a property, liquidating investments that have appreciated, selling a small business or a stake in one, selling high-value physical assets, art, jewelry, equipment, vehicles. If you own a rental property that has appreciated by $200,000 and you sell it, you've generated $100,000 after costs and taxes. Done. 3 months if escrow moves fast. If you've built a small online business generating $2,000 a month in profit, the market will typically value that at 30 to 40 times monthly profit, meaning it could sell for $60,000 to $80,000. Not quite $100,000, but in the range. The selling path is legitimate, fast, and relatively low risk compared to aggressive trading. But it requires one thing. You have to already own something worth selling. Which brings us to the most important part of this entire video. Here's what nobody in the $100,000 in 3 months content space wants to say. For the majority of people who search for this goal, the goal itself is a symptom. It's a symptom of financial pressure, of feeling behind, of watching other people's highlight reels and thinking you need to catch up immediately, of a relationship with money that's more driven by anxiety than strategy. And when anxiety is driving the goal, it pushes people toward the most dangerous path, which is almost always some version of, I'll take my small savings and turn it into something huge through trading or crypto or some opportunity I heard about. That's the path that doesn't generate $100,000. That's the path that depletes the $8,000 you actually had. So before you chase a number, ask a better question. Why $100,000? And why in 3 months? Is it a genuine concrete goal, a business investment, a property purchase, a specific financial milestone with a real deadline? If yes, work backwards from there with clear eyes and pick the path that actually fits your current position. Or is it more of a feeling, a desire to feel financially safe, to feel like you've made it, to stop feeling like you're behind? If it's that, then $100,000 in 3 months is not going to fix it. Because the feeling will move. It always moves. The people who accumulate real wealth, not in 3 months, but over a decade, are not the ones who chase the biggest number the fastest. They're the ones who understand exactly where they are, build the right architecture for their specific situation, and execute consistently over time. That's not exciting, but it's what actually works. So where does that leave you? If you have a high-value, in-demand skill and the client pipeline to support it, the earning path is real. Go after it. If you have significant existing capital and genuine knowledge of high-risk instruments, and you can afford the downside, the investing path is something you can explore with open eyes. If you own appreciable assets that can be liquidated, the selling path is likely your cleanest route. And if none of those 3 describe you right now, That's not failure. That's information. It tells you what to build over the next year, not the next 90 days. The goal isn't $100,000 in 3 months. The goal is financial architecture that makes $100,000 inevitable. Just maybe not on the timeline that anxiety is demanding. Know which game you're actually in, and play that one. Thank you for watching.